Hello, it's Saturday, 3 p.m. again. Just as usual, we always meet at this time to talk about important issues. Always important because it's always something new. So lately, quite a few of our clients came to our office asking about W-2 and 1099 because now is the time, right? Now everybody is getting their W-2 and 1099 done, distributing to their workers, so business owner is busy. And the business owner has a question. And when they hand out the W-2, and one or two of them came back and said, my employee want 1099. Then their 1099, the company got audited. The government says, no, you should not have 1099. You should have W-2. So with all of that, we want to do a concentrated session right now to just figure out what is right. Okay, let's get going. So with this PowerPoint I prepared for you, and let's look at what we have in the work. So before we get into the topic, I want to know where the sources of information are coming from, and you can come to communitycpa.com. This is our website. If you go to communitycpa.com, you actually would have the articles right here, things we talk about, where we give you the updated knowledge. And also you can go to the appointment button right here and pull out the people that you can have appointment with. These are partners. Of course, for busy entrepreneurs, we also designed a onboarding with us right here where you can onboard with us if you're new, have not worked with us before, but you want to work with us and upload your information. Private portal will be created for you and we will get back to you. So you can literally onboarding yourself with us in the middle of the night when you are, you know, when you calm down and easy, things like that. All right, so let's look at what else I have here for you is our YouTube channel. When you go into YouTube and type in Community CPA, and you will have our YouTube channel right here. You can tell we have quite a bit of followers. We have quite a bit of library there. We have like over 1,200 videos. They're all knowledge videos. They're soundbite. They're short videos for you to learn. We can't really do TikTok kind of short videos. You can transform that knowledge to anybody with such a short video. So we try to make it as short as possible, but give you as much of the information you needed for that special topics. And our firm, I will slide that by, and we're a regional firm, 5 different branches. So we have in practice for 27 years going on to 28, so long enough on the market that we can tell you we know a lot. So you can absolutely tap into our experience and grow with us. Your business, you can't grow it alone, and you have to grow with some professionals behind you and make your back straight so you can do a better job. And with these 2 books I show you, these are the books I wrote. I wrote the first one 8 a.m. in 2019, right before pandemic. Then I did the 10 a.m. In that book, I have quite a bit pandemic in there because that's what we were going through. But that is the time where I called growing time. So community CPA, just like every other business, we have the time we start, we have the time we grow. Now we are in the third book, which is 2 p.m. I am writing 2 p.m. to describe how to expand your business, right? You start it up, you grow, you expand. Of course, the number 4 book is 6 p.m. That is to retire or repurpose your life or retire from your work and however we call it. So there's 4 books in the series I'm working on. No responsibility disclaimer, as you know what I'm about to say. If you really want to count our knowledge to serve your purpose, You want to engage the professional to do that work. And with the money exchange, that gives responsibility. Without that exchange, there's no responsibility. So this webinar, this website, and this YouTube channel is really designed to offer you that free knowledge so you can gain your muscles and run faster and catch up on your journey to win the business, right? So you want to win, you want to make it, you want to make a lot. Now, today's webinar, we talk about these two forms. This is W-2, you know what that is. And if you have employee, you issue this to them. But you also have this form. This is 1099 NEC, not employment compensation. NEC stands for non-employee compensation. It's right there, number one. Not for employment. It is subcontractor. It is an independent contractor, however you call them, right? So that is what we are focusing today. So let's get going. Business owners. So I am talking to business owners. I am not talking to the recipients who got your 1099, who got your W-2. I am talking about you. You are the one issuing the W-2 and 1099. So what is the dollar difference to the business owner, to you, between W-2 and 1099? We will go through that. And we'll also talk about how the Department of Labor view this difference. Do they have anything to do with this? Yes, they do. We talk about it. And we're also going to talk about IRS audit. IRS audit your business. Are they going to matter your 1099, your W-2? Absolutely. How? We're going to explain to you about that. What about state agency? What's their opinion? Do they care? A lot. They care a lot. So we'll go into details on that one. And is there any differences between the type of businesses out there? Which one should do W-2? Which one should be doing 1099? Which one should be doing both? We will answer that. So we will cover 5 different areas in the next 40 minutes. What is the dollar difference between dollar differences to the business owner between W-2 and 1099? Let's take a look quickly. So we know who is W-2. We also know who is subcontractor, 1099, right? So the 1099 folks are tend to be paid by project. If you are telling me that, well, I have a 1099 worker in my office and I pay him just exactly like how I pay hourly employee, you're absolutely wrong. Then that person should be employee, not 1099. So normally a subcontractor is by project, by job unit, and really you don't care about how much time you spend there. But if you do care about how much time you spend there, it's more related to the billing. For example, you have project A estimated 10 hours. Then you pay them $1,000. So that means $100 an hour, right? So you count hours because you got a $1,000 invoice to issue. But what if it goes over 10 hours? Of course, the subcontractor is going to bill you more. So they are going to bill you proratedly of that 1,000, how much of that project would spend for them. So employee is different, right? Employee is the business owner's responsibility. You pay a regular wage. They also receive the benefit you offered, benefit like medical insurance, 401k, short-term, long-term disability, workers' comp, all of these, a slew of benefit as an employee would receive from the employer because you're like taking care of them. But do you take care of the subcontractor? No, you take care of their invoice. So the huge difference from the body side, from a human body standpoint, employee, you care that person, everything about that person. You have to treat them right. You need to be respectful. They need to get lunch break, coffee break, and they need to get this and that. And those are, you care about that person. But subcontractors and 1099 and EC, you care about their work result, invoice only. You don't have any responsibilities for how they care their body. Where did they get insurance? How did they cover themselves on medical insurance side? It's not even your business, right? So for any reasons, if you feel like you still don't know, Ying, what you said doesn't make sense, I'm still very confused, then I give you these three characters for you to remember. You want to measure behaviors, whether they report to you hourly, daily, weekly, and that stuff, control issue. Behavior control. How much behavior control you have on that person, that determines whether they're subcontractors or employee. And financial. So, are the business aspect of the worker's job controlled by you, by the business owner? So you actually, tell them that no, you can't spend this. No, I only gonna reimburse you $25, not 30. You're not, right? You just write them a check and pay invoice. That's subcontractor. But if you are going to reimburse employee related expenses and suddenly they're employee, type of relationship. Are there any written contract you have with that person? Is the contract says they're employee or they're subcontractors? And I have, in business, you see all kind of situation. There are business owners in such a good faith has done the job, done the work, give the money to the individual, the worker. And as a subcontractor, okay, good handshake, gentleman agreement, and a couple years later, the person sued the employer, the good friend, at one time for back wages and also Social Security, Medicare, all of these payments that the employee is supposed to have. So you sit here wonder why would that even happen? Because there's no relationship established. There's no clear says about anything. And, our business owner was doing good things for this person. This person was enjoying all the money they got, all the deduction they did on their taxes, but turn around, they say, no, you still owe me more. And using that as a reason. Not good. I know every time I talk about this, I even have people complain saying that I'm not very nice to the worker because I was painting them to be a whistleblower, whatever that is. The reality is that things happen. And these are real things happen in the real world. And I don't have ability to make things up, but I do have ability to retell you stories. So stories that we see, you need to do it right. There is no way, no chances for a business owner can get away from the mistake. If you got away from the mistake and you're just not important, you're not yet caught. It's not because you will never be caught. So that is my 2 cents on a very serious issue. Examples about employee and the subcontractors. Here I have example of Jane works as a software developer and for a tech company. And he has a set schedule. He receive regular salary and he come to the office. He use office equipment, all of that. So he's an employee. But then you have Mike, who is a graphic designer, freelance. So he does this job for this person, the other job for the other person. So my business owner hired him to do a logo design and paid him $2,500. And that is not a salary. That is a 1089 NEC subcontractor payment. Now, and what is the owner cost to the business? What is the real cost to the business from the dollar standpoint, W-2 and 1099? Here I'm giving you this calculation. Generally speaking, add 25%. So let's say you pay me, I'm your employee, you pay me $1,000. So you're the business owner. You write me a letter goes, Yin, congratulations, you're my secretary, and I'm going to pay you $1,000 salary, and I accept it. And you the cost to you, the real cost to you is $1,250. So you may say, oh, Ying, how did you get that? Trust me. This is years and years experience. I'll tell you, you don't have to get into itty-gritties like, oh, I know the match for Social Security Medicare was 7.65%, and there's only 4.5% on the unemployment in our state, and there's no way it's 25. Trust me, it's 25%. So if you do $1,000 a month payroll, your real cost is 1,250, like what the screen says right there in front of you. So your real cost is actually the 1,000 plus employer match plus unemployment insurance and also to the federal and the state, and plus the day offs, the PTOs, the medical insurance, the long-term, short-term liability disabilities, the company benefit, like the company perks, like, oh, I'll pay you for running to the post office for $20. Okay, all of these is your expense. So give yourself a break. That's a 25%. So you know what that is. Workers' comp is another one. And if you're in construction industry, and the 25% is normally not even enough, you budget for 30. So that is how employee cost you. But when you come to the 1099 and EC, the contractors, your cost for $1,000, that is what cost you. There's no other cost. So there is just what it is. So with that said, you see that there is a difference of $250 in this case. It's 25% of cost increase for the employer. So that alone give you a thought. You always thinking, is this a W-2 or is this 1099 NEC? I understand what you're thinking, but to understand the dollar difference will make you be aware of in doing your budget. So when you do your payroll budget, you know how to do it. And then when you know this is subcontractor, you don't have to budget that 25%. But am I saying that, oh, because of that, so let's not do employee at all. Let's all do 1099 NEC. That is wrong. So let me explain to you further. So sometimes business owners are under pressure from their worker. They ask for 1099 NEC. And the business owner, you know that on the surface, it's good for you because you don't have to pay that 25%. On the surface, it's good for you. It is really good for the people who receive it because the recipients, when they receive that $1,000, they can minus their expense. For example, we give Mike that $1,000 for graphic design, but the printing cost was $750. So his real profit is $250. So he doesn't pay so much taxes. Not like he got a $1,000, right? So the income tax were calculated on $250, not $1,000. Even though Mike has to pay for self-employment tax as well, that is a 15.3% extra taxes, but it is a much smaller amount. So your recipients, your worker, the one who asks you for 1099 NEC, that's what they have in the store. They know what they are doing. So for you, you only thinking about, oh yeah, I saved 25%, good deal, let's just do it. But that's not the end of it. And you can classify this worker wrong, and you give this person unlimited access to your pocket later. This person can come back or can go to government to tell the government that he's actually your employee. He works just like everybody else, but he didn't get paid as employee. No benefit was extended to him, and he really should be an employee. Then what's gonna happen to you? The audit will come. You'll pay for the 8% Social Security Medicare that you didn't match. Okay? And you'll pay penalty for non-compliance. And the penalty and the interest plus back wages depends on which government comes. If it is DOL come, they double everything they charge you. That can be a huge damage. What I'm trying to say here to our business owners, you know what? It's not worth it to do it wrong. Just not. All right? So now you probably say that, okay, Ying, then what's next? Let's talk about, remember we have 5 items we want to talk about? So now I calculate the number for you, didn't I? I told you that, yes, it's good when you issue 1099, you save 25% of cost. And I gave you example of the $1,000. Otherwise, it's $1,250. I also told you why is your worker come to you goes, can I have a 1099? It saves a lot of money for you. Is that really good for you? Think it again, right? Let's understand about Department of Labor. So what is their view on this? What would they audit if they come to your business? So Department of Labor's audit are kind of, for small businesses, the most often seen are these two. There's more. But these are the two we have seen. The first one, too many. The wages and hours audit. What they come, the DOL comes to make sure that you are in compliance with the Fair Labor Standards Act, which includes minimum wage and overtime pay requirement, and also the Family Medical Leave Act, and a lot of labor protection, kind of like the union protection kind of things. They're auditing you for that. So why would they care about 1099 and the W-2? If your employee is not a W-2, if they're 1099, they don't fall into Department of Labor's audit. But when they come to audit you for your W-2 people, or they believe that you should have W-2 people but you didn't have it, when they audit for that, they're actually coming for the misclassification of these two type of people. So they want to look at who are working and how you pay them and did you pay them enough. So that's why I bring it here, because the W-2 1099 NEC has a lot to do with Department of Labor's audit. Of course, employee benefit audit is another audit. And the Department of Labor auditor comes to look at your employee benefit. You said you're going to provide 3%, safe harbor 401k match. Did you do it? You said that you're going to do profit sharing. Is the profit sharing done properly? Did you give too much money to yourself and give your employee not enough? So they are coming in to audit you to make sure that you're running your business fairly. If you say you're going to give to yourself, and this is an employer, this is a business-wide benefit plan, it is better fairly applied to everybody else. So that is their audit. When they come to audit this, they also look at who else did you pay? Can you give me your 1099 NEC list? So you print it out. Then they will ask you, why is this person a 1099? Why is not an employee? Why is a subcontractor? So the question goes on. They're going to judge you for whether you did the classification right or wrong. Now, so that's our second bullet point. Now we talk about IRS. Okay? Is IRS audit you? Do they care about the misclassification? Do they raise issues for W-2, 1099, and NEC? Absolutely yes. The answer is yes. So how IRS look at your W-2, 1099, and NEC? They have 4 types of audit at IRS that related to W-2 and 1099 area. One of them is called misclassification. So IRS would question whether a worker has been correctly classified as an employee. Okay, they will question you. And a misclassified employee can lead a huge tax liability, including penalty. Okay, they will not just calculate numbers on you for what you really owe. It will be more than what you actually owe. If a business filed both W-2 and 1099 for the same individual in the same given year, that's a red flag. It's right away on top of the list. It will be questioned. It will be screened out. And you have to know IRS walking into your company to do audit. They already have this misclassification audit in their bag. They are doing it. Sometimes you don't hear them talking about it because you are doing good. You treated every worker correctly. But if they spot you did not do, they will come in. Reporting income. So this is another audit related to W-2 and 1099 EC. So accurate reporting, both W-2 and 1099 forms must accurately reflect the paid work to the worker. If a business owner report less income than what reflected on their W-2 or 1099, it may indicate a tax evasion. That's literally the language from the IRS audit guide. The IRS said that if they are not paying the W-2 accurately, they issue a W-2 for $1,000, but the worker actually just getting a 500, and they are making it a bigger expense for themselves, so they pay less taxes. So they have this tax evasion going on. They are not paying enough taxes, right? So this is where that your W-2 and 1099 need to be backed up by the cash, by the money went to the person. It has to match. Your ledger has to support. That's another audit. The third audit is non-compliance audit, and the failure to file these forms will trigger audit. If they know, let's say you didn't file W-2 or you didn't file 1099, but one of your worker went ahead, used their last pay stub, filed W-2 on their tax return. IRS knew, not like, I'm not talking about IRS watching you and no. IRS has a system, will ring out the red flag. No W-3, W-2 filed related to this following individual 1040. IRS literally already know who is working for you and you did not issue W-2. Penalty. Each unfiled form will have penalty ranging from 100 to 330 per form, and plus interest and a penalty. A lot per year. A lot. So that's a non-compliance audit. Backup withholding issue can come into an audit as well. Failure to withhold taxes, it is your problem, business owner. Have you ever heard of a complaint that was filed to IRS? IRS was auditing an individual. The individual received W-2, but never had withholding on their W-2. So they ended up owing a lot of taxes, right? So the taxpayers' complaint to IRS is that I don't know why my employer, my boss did not withhold my money, and I don't think I should be charged for that. They should be, because it's their job to withhold that taxes for me, so I don't owe this. Very smart. Are they wrong? Is this person wrong? No, he was not wrong. That's really your responsibility to withhold, and you didn't. And you having backup withholding issues, you can be audited. But if you can produce W-4, if you can show on the W-4 forms, this person put in 50 dependent, of course you can't withhold anything. They got too many kids. There are 50 of them. I'm exaggerating. But in this real example, was 7 kids. So they didn't have withholding. How could they do? Because they give the business owner, you, the W-4 says don't withhold, so you didn't. But when he get audited, he tell the auditor that how could I not get withhold? It's their job. They should withhold. So you have to debate for yourself, right? You really do have to prepare yourself for some people who does that for you, to you. Consciously, on purpose or not, doesn't matter because it happened. So you just need to do it right. Am I right? You know, I am so adamant about small business owners. You don't have connections, okay? Nobody gonna feel sorry for you. And if you don't do it right, other than people who work at community CPA, we have a heart for you. But when you get audited, they're going by the rules. They're not wrong going by the rules. You're supposed to know it before you get into business. But the idea is that you need to know. You need to come to these webinars, learn, so you don't make those mistakes. All right? So backup withholding is a thing. If you issue 1099, and you should have backup withholding. And on the last paragraph I wrote for you, who is required to do backup withholding for 1099? Okay? The most US citizens and residents are exempted from backup withholding. So I'm not saying that every 1099 you issue, you do. But sometimes your W-9 did not come properly and you have the number wrong, or you have their ID has a wrong number or whatever happened. So their IT number is the wrong number. So when that is being discovered by IRS, you get a letter. And if that person shows you again, no, my number is not wrong, here it is, then you just do backup withholding because that's required. Okay? So normally, US citizens and residents for taxes are the people who are living here. So they have more than 183 days living in US making money. So they are tax residents. This residence doesn't equal to green card holder. Don't get that confused. That is immigration. Here we're talking about taxes, okay? The tax residence is the one that paying taxes to US government of their worldwide income, and they have more than 183 days residence and making money in US. All right. If they provide a correct IT number or social security number, there is no need to be backup withholding. And if they get notified by IRS already saying that their number doesn't match and stuff, yes, you need to do backup withholding. That is 24% of whatever they're getting. Got it? All right. So, our number 4. What is the state agency opinion? Do they care? Here, I have a table. The state agency cares. They care about the dollars. That's their state revenue. So for the tax withholding, you know, if you are 1099, they don't care because you normally don't withhold on 1099 because we don't really know what is the real taxable income. But if it is W-2, you withhold state taxes if they are income taxable state, right? Like Minnesota, Iowa, California. But Houston, our branch is also in Houston, Texas, then you don't withhold state taxes, right? Unemployment insurance, of course, that's covered by the employer if you are a W-2 employee, but if you are 1099, it's not covered. So the state don't collect anything from you and as a business owner, and you don't worry about that. Workers' comp, you don't worry about that if it is 1099, but if it is W-2 employee for you, of course you worry about that. You should buy workers' comp insurance. Okay, other labor laws compliances that's specific to the state and whatever state you are in, and you can inquiry about that. We tell you what you need to do. Okay, then of course the employee benefit. The 1099 you don't do, but the W-2 You do, and the state would come to audit you. They will say, these people are not 1099, they're W-2. So they will charge you from tax withholding. Tax withholding is a pass-through withholding. They don't charge you on that, but your employee or your contractor becoming employee, they owe state taxes. Okay. Unemployment insurance will be assessed. Workers' comp will be assessed. So you will have a whole new tax dues to come out if you get reclassified by the state. And the other thing I want you to know is that state and the federal are more and more working together. It wasn't this way when I was young and I just started the practice. It wasn't that way. State and the federal were very disconnected. One does one thing, the other does the other things. But nowadays with technology, when the federal government is doing reclassification audit, they go, oh, John Smith is no longer 1099, it's a W-2. That information goes to the state. Then the state unemployment insurance will issue you a bill because that person needs to be covered over there. All right. So the state audit on misclassification is huge. State do care about the difference between W-2 and 1099 because the W-2 is the area that they collect unemployment insurance and all of that. The state has responsibility to pay unemployment benefit when they leave, when they got laid off or whatever. They're disengaged with you, with the business owner. The state pay them. Okay. Many states have done so many misclassification audit. At the end of the audit, the state agency actually give out how many workers were misclassified. It's their trophy. Is their accomplishment to know, to tell everyone that how many worker was misclassified. They should be W-2, but they were 1099. Okay, so that number you can see for Illinois was $368,000 in a year. All of these. Just take a look. A lot. So I'm trying to impress you with the fact is this W-2 1099 is a big deal. You don't make a mistake. You do it right. Because the consequences is like can of worm. It can never really, it can get messy. All right. Is there any differences between the type of businesses in terms of paying workers as W-2 employees and 1099 NEC? Yes, let me talk to you about that. What type of industry has the most 1099? What type of industry? Construction. Okay. The construction industry is one of the largest users of Form 1099 NEC, as it often employs subcontractors of all kinds of services, right? And for example, a general contractor. What does a general contractor do? They do the overall project planning. They manage the construction process, and they hire subcontractors to finish different jobs and coordinating them to finish which one early, which one late, which one need to come back to change it. So things like that, right? So they make money. They make money from the customer. Then they pay to the subcontractor. When they pay, it's not W-2, it's 1099. If the subcontractor is individual, it's 1099 NEC. If the subcontractor is a corporation, it will be a vendor check goes out to the corporation, right? So these are huge users of 1099 NEC is construction. Professional service. This sector includes a wide range of fields: legal, accounting, consulting, marketing, freelancer. Independent contractors would issue their invoice and will get paid for that project, that job they did, right? Gig economy. Gig economy includes all kind of individuals worked on freelance basis, such as programmers, right? And Uber drivers, delivery personnel's temporary job affiliated through online platform. They go online call centers. You know some of the call centers, people are actually even working out of the country. All right, just a little bonus point for you. What if you hire the call center person in Ghana? They speak perfect English. You won't even tell they're calling from Ghana. So do we issue 1099 NEC to the Ghana national person? They're not even working in US. The answer is no, you don't. You don't issue 1099 NEC. 1099 NEC is issued to the people who works here in United States of America. They are business people, conduct business here in America. That's why we need their social security number, their IT numbers, or their company EIN numbers to conduct the business. All right. Now, creative industry also have a lot of freelance, a lot of artists working under 1099 NEC. So that gives you an idea. So 1099 NEC, but you know that I didn't mention about restaurant, right? And you also know that I didn't mention about nail shops. And you also notice that I didn't mention about, well, I did say legal and accounting. And most of the CPA firms, they should not have 1099. So one principle I want all of us to remember. Let's say you have a construction company, not a general contractor. You have a drywall company, let's say. You do drywall in and out every day. That's all you do. But occasionally, you have the clients just love you so much. They say, oh, other than drywall, can you also do window for us? Installing windows, do my roof and stuff. Okay, listen to me on this one. If you have a drywall company, all of your drywallers, the person who put on the drywall, they are your employees. But the people you hire to do the roof and the windows, because they are not your regular business that you conduct, they are one-off, they are subcontractor to you, so they get 1099 NEC. You cannot say that, oh, I'm a drywaller company and I don't have employee. All of my drywallers are NEC, 1099 NEC. And you may be doing that right now. You may tell me that, well, my buddy doing exactly that for 25 years already, and he was okay. That doesn't mean you're going to be okay. That just means that they haven't been looking at him. If one day that comes in, it's not going to be payback last year. It's going to be payback last 10 years. That would be a huge problem. So in the audit, the experience we got is the auditor wants to know the nature of the business. If you run a CPA firm, all of your accountants are W-2 employees. They're not 1099. Even if they work from home, they're not 1099. Because your main work is accounting. But what if the custodian, what if the cleaning person for the law firm is not a lawyer? It's not the main work they do. So it is 1099. If the cleaning company is a company, then it is a vendor check, right? So that is how you decide what is the right thing to do. Can a business has both W-2 and 1099? Yes, you can have both. For example, nail shop can have both. Restaurant can have both. Law firm, CPA firm can have both. Why? In nail shop, and you can have the secretary, the front desk, a W-2 because they don't do the nails and they just keep appointment, managing in and out, coordinating customer, bringing water to the customer. They are the supporting roles, or they're the manager for the shop and they are W-2 employee. But the nail technician depends. I have the question on the last second row there. Can a nail shop pay the nail technician 1099 NEC? The answer is yes. The answer is no. Depends how you set up that relationship. If you say your nail technician actually bring their materials in and bring their client in, and they're just renting your space and getting into this community environment, and they're 1099. But if you are offering medical insurance, you're offering day off, and you're offering all kind of perks that are related to employee, and you make them come in no matter they have no matter they have clients or not, that just sounds awfully like employee. If you want to decide which one is right, which one is wrong, because I said both, you want us to take a look at your business, we decide for you. We knew what you need to do. Because the nail shops are mainly audited by the state agency. Then what about, I have also, what about restaurant? Can I pay my cook 1099? That is 100% of a very big no. Because restaurant business is cooking, serving, have customer eating. And you cannot take your core element out, say that piece is 1099. No. But if your restaurant hires a window cleaner to clean up the windows every season, and they are subcontractors, because window cleaning is not your core business, so they can be paid by 1099 NEC if they come to clean under their name and their social security number or their IT number. But if they come in on the W-9, they fill in the company name, then you write a vendor check. Makes sense, right? So can a same person who received W-2 also 1099 in the same year? Remember earlier I said that's a big red flag? I still say that. It is a big red flag. You should not do that. But that's not to say you cannot. The key is to make sure the work duties are different, right? One is scope of work this way as an employee. The other one is a scope of work that way for the subcontractor job. And a good example would be, we have a portrait business. One of our clients is doing the portrait business in the mall, like they rent the mall space and they do portrait business, right? And one of their photographers, because it's portrait business, so they only have one photographer, so they pay that salary because it's a core business. But this photographer also do other things in that same space, which is to help clients to do the what you call flyer design. So they took the photo, then they want to take the photo and then making different design like graduation flyers and things like that. So it is a different job. It is not taking the photo. It is sitting in front of the computer using certain software, creating certain things for a client and charge that. So when this person charge that, and he will pay a 20 small amount of that total to the shop because he was using the shop place to generating that kind of flow. So this is 1099 because it's not their core business. It's not belonging to the business owner. So they're doing it on the side, right? So the business owner got a little bit of pay, but majority of pay didn't really come to the business owner. And if it is happened to run into the credit card because client come to pay, and then the business owner has to pay it back to the person, that's 1099. So these examples are to help you understand the significance of the difference so you actually know how to treat it. But it is not recommended to have one person getting two things from the company in the same year. Now, ask for third-party help if you just don't know. If you're not sure how to classify a worker and you heard too many options, too many stories from your friends and relatives, and you're just like, I'm not sure, I believe what Ying says here, then you can file SS8. That is a form. You fill up that form, you send to IRS, IRS will make a determination for you. That is a visa pass to all the country in the world, and you can go to the state, tell the state that, The federal government gave me this determination. It is 1099, not W-2. You should not reclassify me. And if you got that, the state will accept it. Most of the state don't see federal government rules as nonsense. They do follow certain common rules. So they will say okay to you. Or you ask community CPA to determine it for you. And we will determine it for you. If what the case you give us is wishy-washy, then we will tell you what can you do in addition to what you did to make sure the classification is solid. So there's no ambiguities. There is not a possibility for you to absolutely go wrong and end up filing bankruptcy, right? So the last comment from me for today, and we have run a pretty solid 40 minutes for the explanation. Do it right is the only way to build a lasting business. Unless your business is not really need to be lasting. Some people goes, oh, I just want a quick money. I'm not worried about being audited. I'll be closed tomorrow. If that's your mentality, then really there's no need to learn anything, right? But if you want to run a good lasting business, there's no other way around to do it right. When you do it right from beginning, you actually set the bar for yourself that way. You will attract the right employee to come to you. If you do it wrong, the wrong one will come to you. If you do it right, the more accumulation around you would be the right one. And you will feel that you are on the right track and you can sleep better. Others can do it wrong without an issue. I really know that. You know that. Others can be charged criminally, okay, to not go to jail. But that does not equal to you doing it wrong. And you also will be without a trouble. It doesn't equal to that. You will be the one get caught. You will be the one be in trouble. But you cannot, when you got into the trouble like that, you tell the auditor, go, yeah, but my brother and sister was also doing that wrong for several years, and then they did not get into the trouble. Why? I know you don't say that. I know it is stupid to say that, right? And why do you want to get everybody else in trouble when you are in trouble? What you should do is you should never do it wrong, so you don't get into trouble. But if you accidentally got into trouble, there's always a way to amend it. But what we are here is to say that don't even go there. Start it right, classify them properly, and yes, you do spend less money on 1099, but that may not be the right direction for you to go. More questions? You have us. We have 6 partners in our firm. Each one of us in the special area. You can subscribe. You can book our time, and we will come to provide you the consultation service. And you should subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we have more than 6,000 followers. This is an old screenshot. We have a lot more followers. And you can email Catherine at communitycpa.com. That's our email. When you email me, our company, we go by first name at communitycpa.com. You will always see. You will always, you kind of can find people that way. So Catherine, and she's in charge of our marketing content. So she's the one decide what to teach us, what to teach today. And then you can also contact us 6 days a week. We open 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday. All right. And that is for today. And thank you for staying with me. And I will see you again on Tuesday. Tuesday, 3 p.m. I have a shorter version of new things for you in store. Bye-bye.